All right. Swamp spells and seriously suspicious whispers. That's what we're diving into today.
Sounds like my kind of party.
Right. This deep dive, we are tackling that Sedgemoor session you sent us.
Oh, excellent.
And not just the transcript. We've
Mm.
got those chat excerpts, too.
Oh, juicy.
It's like having bonus clues to your character's mystery.
Ooh,
They get sent to investigate some weird happenings
classic.
in the Sedgemoor swamps, and that's never a good sign when a place is called Sedgemoor.
Es-
So the reason for this little field trip, usually docile Catoblepus has gone rogue, maybe even linked to something called an eldritch bomb. For anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of encountering a Catoblepus before,
Oh, right.
picture this. Bull-headed beast, lethal gaze, straight out of those ancient myths.
So we're talking serious magical badness here.
Let's see, we've got Andro. He's our cautious leader type, always thinking a few steps ahead, which is perfect for a mystery like this.
Right. And then there's Lyra. She's a bit more impulsive, you know. Always ready to unleash some magic, even if it might not be the best idea at the time.
A big gung-ho.
Yeah, something like that. I think we'll see what I mean pretty soon.
Okay, and we can't forget Ray. They're always prepared, at least on the surface. Although there were a few moments where, let's just say they seemed to rely on Lyra to get them out of trouble a little too much.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely be unpacking that. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what about Noctis?
Ah, yes, Noctis. You know, when I was going over these game transcripts, something about his behavior really struck me.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, he's surprisingly at ease in the swamp, isn't he? It's a far cry from, brawling in a tavern, which seems much more his style, if you ask me.
That's true. He usually prefers his battles a little more dot-contained.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder, does this hint at something deeper in his character? Maybe a connection to nature that we haven't seen before. It's something to keep in mind as we go deeper.
Definitely. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have Ralziman.
Ah, Ralziman. Now there's a character wrapped in mystery from the get-go.
Seriously. He's distant, doesn't seem to trust anyone.
Okay, so Ralziman and crew, they're knee-deep in Sedgemoor now.
Lovely.
And your game master's not messing around.
Oh, really? Landed on thick?
Oh, yeah. Humidity that could wilt a gorgon.
Ugh.
That rotting, sweet smell of magic and decay.
It's like the atmosphere itself is a character sheet.
Honestly, it's giving me flashbacks to some questionable alchemist labs.
Right, like nothing good ever happens in a place that smells like that. It's just science.
Or bad magic in this case.
Yeah.
And nothing says, I'm going to regret this, like a muck pit. Am I right?
Oh, 100% the ever-present danger of a good sinking.
Enter Andros stage left.
Always one for a grand entrance, that one, even if it involves face planting into the muck.
Oh, absolutely. You could practically hear the dice rolling. But hey, at least it gave everyone else a chance to shine right. With a quick thinking, the rope teamwork saving the day.
For now.
For now, because it's almost like that little rescue is just a warm-up exercise.
Yeah. Gotta get those reflexes ready.
A little too easy, especially with what Andro picks up next.
That little magical blip, right?
Oh, yeah, not just around the Catoblepus tracks.
Which, let's be honest, we were all expecting that.
Totally. But around Ralziman's sword, too.
Okay, now that's interesting.
That's huge. We knew it was going to be important. And just when you think things can't get weirder.
It always gets weirder.
Oh, it does. They stumble upon Morgra, swamp witch extraordinaire.
Ooh, she's always got something up her sleeve.
She always does. And it seems she's seen some things, knows some things, maybe even about that eldritch bomb.
Oh, really? This is where things get interesting.
This is where it gets good. Before anyone can say, wait, what?
What happened?
Ralziman hears it.
Uh.
A scream echoing through the swamp. And in all that chaos, you've got Lyra trying to decide about Morgra and her offer.
Right. Information, maybe even safety, but in exchange for who knows what.
That's the million gold piece question, isn't it?
It is. And there's no easy answer, which is what makes these moments so great.
Oh, for sure.
Right. On the one hand, lives are on the line. Like right now, that Catoblepus isn't waiting for tea and crumpets.
No, it is not.
But on the other hand, Morgra is clearly playing some kind of long game.
Always.
Those little hints about the past, that's bait, my friend.
Yeah, 100%.
It's meant to snag someone curious like Lyra.
Lyra or Ralziman.
Or Ralziman, right.
But as if on cue,
What happens?
Catoblepus makes its grand entrance. And just as that scream chills Ralziman to the bone, the Catoblepus goes full-on attack mode.
It's like it heard the music cue.
Seriously, 0 to lethal in like 0 seconds.
Brutal. And Grayson, always the journalist, getting a little too close to the story.
I know, right? Always in the thick of it.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. You've got to admire Ray's courage, though, leaping in to help like that.
Always the hero.
Always.
But that death ray, talk about a reality check.
Yeah, this isn't some sleepy swamp creature anymore.
No, this is like boss level stuff.
Our source material does not hold back here.
Yeah.
They describe the Catoblepas as something straight out of a nightmare. Grotesque, covered in glowing muck. Those eyes, they just pierce through the mist.
This is not the nice plant-eating Catoblepas from those textbooks. This thing is transformed, twisted by something, and don't even get me started on that death ray.
Yeah, we have to talk about that death ray. For anyone who doesn't know, this isn't just some everyday magical attack. It's notoriously lethal, capable of draining the life force right out of you.
Which, unfortunately, Ray finds out firsthand.
And then all hell breaks loose. It's pure chaos as everyone tries to figure out what to do.
Lyra, of course, immediately jumps into attack mode, spells blazing.
Classic Lyra. Always ready to meet magic with magic. Although, in her defense, I'm not sure even the most seasoned adventurer would just sit back and observe when faced with a mutated Catoblepas with a death ray.
You've got a point. It's honestly a miracle no one else got seriously hurt. I mean, Ray barely survived that death ray. 32 necrotic damage. If it weren't for Aaron, they'd be done.
It's a good thing Aaron was there with their healing magic. Talk about a close call. They were really on the brink there for a minute.
Seriously. And while everyone's distracted, Noctis uses the chaos to slip away.
There's our boy. Always thinking strategically. You know, even in the middle of a life or death battle, he manages to stay calm and collected, calculating his next move. That's classic Noctis.
And Ralseiman, well, he finally decides to make an appearance.
It's like something in him just snaps. One minute he's hesitant, almost afraid, and the next he's a whirlwind of blades darting through the swamp like he owns the place.
Almost like he's used to this, like he's fought creatures like this before.
Then there's Andro trying to steer this ship through treacherous waters.
Always need a leader like that.
You even noted how he tries to rein in some of the party's more enthusiastic members.
I can only imagine.
So you've created this really compelling contrast. Ralseiman bracing for disaster and Andro striving for order. Was that intentional?
Yeah, good question. Was that your dynamic?
Because that kind of friction can be pure gold for a campaign.
100%. Keeps things interesting.
And speaking of enthusiastic members, let's talk about Lyra. She's the one who makes me want to grab my dice.
Oh, she's a roll for initiative kind of player.
Oh, yeah. She just wants to leap into action. Advice be damned. But just as things are looking their bleakest, just when you think our heroes are done for, Aaron steps up with a plan. And it's a big one.
You could practically feel the tension in those game transcripts. The players knew they had to do something drastic and fast.
With a deep breath, and probably a silent prayer to whatever deities govern chaotic spell casting, they utter the words for a powerful polymorph spell.
The Catoblepas just shrinks.
Gone. Well, not gone, but transformed, you know, from this hulking monster into a harmless little frog.
Talk about a power move. Did you see that coming? Because I gotta say, reading through this part had me on the edge of my seat.
It's brilliant. Really shows how quick Aaron can think on their feet. That polymorph spell. Total mastery of transformation magic.
Right. But didn't you see polymorph is temporary?
Good catch. Yeah, they bought themselves an hour, maybe less, before that Catoblepas turns back. And it's not going to be happy.
So they're stuck in this swamp, magically active. Ray's still messed up from that death ray. And I feel like we've got even more questions than when we started.
Doesn't it always feel that way with a good mystery, though? Like every answer just opens up more doors.
True. So, like, we know the Catoblepas was all magically charged up, right? Is the Eldritch Bomb the source of that? Is that what that mystery student was doing there, trying to, like, harness its power or something? Okay, serious chills right now. It's like those classic mystery novels, right? Every clue just raises the stakes even higher.
Yeah.
This D&D game, I need to know how it ends. How do they even begin to navigate all of this?
Well, that's the beauty of a good campaign. We get to watch it unfold. But here's something to think about while you wait. We've been so focused on the mysteries in the game. The Catoblepas, the bomb, who's this mystery student. But what about the players themselves?
What do you mean?
Their choices, the way they play their characters, that tells us just as much as any dice roll. Those little moments, a hesitation, a sudden realization, pay attention to that and maybe, just maybe, we can solve this thing before the characters do.